Antropic dropped a new model, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is out now. In this video, I'm gonna deep into the announcement and yeah, we will just explore what Antropic came up with and what Claude 3.7 Sonnet and Claude Code is and its impact on us as web professionals, whether you are a web developer or a digital strategist. So let's get started. Today we are announcing Claude 3.7 Sonnet, our most intelligent model to date and the first hybrid reasoning model on the market. I think this hybrid thing is very interesting, so we will go deeper into it. Claude 3.7 Sonnet can produce near instant responses or extended step-by-step thinking that is made visible to the user. API users also have fine-grained control over how long the model can think for. Yeah, so this paragraph is really interesting, and there is several innovations. First of all, it's that it combines reasoning or deep reasoning as well as quick instant responses into one model. I think this is an innovation. No other model offer that so far. And also that through the API you have fine-grained control over how long the model can think. I don't know exactly how this works, but we will surely explore how that works. Claude 3.7 shows particularly strong improvements in coding, front-end web development along with the model. We are also introducing a command line tool for agentic coding, Claude Code. Claude Code is available as a limited research preview and enables developers to delegate substantial engineering tasks to Claude directly from their terminal. Yes, I think this is very interesting. Claude Code is a new product, and why create a new UI if you can actually leverage the terminal everybody's using anyway? So I think this is a very clever approach. They don't invent a code editor or something, so they just reuse what every developer already has at hand. And yeah, why not just use that as a UI? I think it's very clever. Claude 3.7 Sonnet is now available on all Claude plans, including Free, Pro, Team, and Enterprise, as well as the Antropic API, etc. etc. Extending thinking mode is available on all surfaces except for the free Claude tier. In both standard and extended thinking modes, Claude 3.7 Sonnet has the same price as its predecessor, 3 per million input and 15 per million output, which includes thinking tokens. Okay, so interesting, they could roll it out to all plans. That's interesting. And what I think, interesting that the 3.7 model, much more capable, but they still serve it at the same price as the previous model 3.5. And yes, it was the most expensive model, the 3.5, compared to other with the same capabilities. So now they just replace it and keep the pricing. So switching to the better model and taking back the value out of it totally makes sense. I'm happy to pay this extra dollars. It's not extra if you're used to paying that amount for the input and output tokens. That's fine. And what I also think is interesting here, that they really focus on real world use cases, but I think more about that in the next paragraph. Claude 3.7 Sonnet Frontier Reasoning Made Practical. We developed Claude 3.7 Sonnet with a different philosophy from other reasoning models on the market. Just as humans use a single brain for both quick responses and deep reflection, we believe reasoning should be an integrated capability of front-end models rather than a separate model entirely. This unified approach also creates a more seamless experience for users. Totally makes sense to me, and as I understand, OpenAI is also working on that, so you don't have to care and switch the model depending on the task you are working on. Claude 3.7 embodies the philosophy in several ways. First, Claude 3.7 is both an ordinary LLM and a reasoning model in one. You can pick when you want the model to answer normally and when you want it to think longer before answering. In the standard mode, 3.7 represents an upgraded version of 3.5 Sonnet. In extended thinking mode, it self-reflects before answering, which improves its performance on math, physics, instruction following, coding, and many other tasks. We generally find the promoting for the model works similar in both modes. Actually, I tried it before on some coding tasks, and it's interesting. So it gives answer very quickly, but then also while reflecting on the tasks, it even updates the same file or the same generated code in the same thread, which I think is very interesting to see. And yeah, the quality of the code was really, really good. Second, when using Claude 3.7 Sonnet through the API, users can also control the budget for thinking. You can tell Claude to think for no more than n tokens for any value of n up to its output limit of 128k tokens. This allows you to trade off speed and cost for quality of answers. Yeah, I think this is an interesting thing here. So you have better control about the budget, which especially if you're offering a product that uses the Claude API, much better control about the spending. And yeah, as it's written here, it allows you trade-off speed and cost for quality of the answer. I think this is very important and actually interesting that Antropic really understands what customers want. And I think they make a whole lot of money by offering the API to coding tools like Cursor.io and others to basically generate code, front-end applications, which I think then makes absolutely sense to give more control about the API use. Third, in developing our reasoning models, we've optimized somewhat less for math and computer science competition problems and instead shifted focus towards real-world tasks that better reflect how businesses actually use LLM. Yeah, I think this is also what I experienced by using the product. It's good if you could say, okay, we can solve whatever math problems, but if you don't have these math problems, why it's even important, So actually focusing to real work tasks is crucial and obviously gives much more value by using the product for, let's say, people like you and me who actually want to solve real world tasks, right? So that's interesting that they also not actually optimize for high scores in the tests, but actually focus on real world tasks, which I think is super cool. Early testing demonstrated Claude's leadership in coding capabilities across the board. Cursor noted Claude is once again best in class for real-world coding tasks with significant improvements in areas ranging from handling complex code bases to advanced tool use. Cognition found it far better than any other model at planning, code changes, and handling full-stack updates. Vercel highlighted Claude's exceptional precision for complex agent workflow, while Replit has successfully deployed Claude to build sophisticated web apps and dashboards from scratch, where other models stall. In Canvas evaluations, Claude consistently produced production-ready code with superior design taste and drastically reduced errors. Yeah, I used Vercel's V0 before. I don't use Replit or Canvas tools. I'm actually wondering if this is already with the new model. It seems to early testing. So, or maybe it's with the old model, but I see in V0, I'm a V0 user, I see there is still potential for better outputs, especially if the project grew, and we'll see how that evolves with Claude 3.7. So benchmark, Claude 3.7 much higher compared to others, including OpenAI O3 Mini. So I think this is very substantial. So again, a big jump. There were some discussions on Reddit whether the training data of Claude 3.7 actually included the software engineering bench tasks already as a training data, and then obviously you are much better. But this is something we could debate on. Yeah, I won't go into all the stats here, but at least at the first glance, the stats look really, really promising. So let's talk about Claude Code. Since June 2024, Sonnet has been preferred model for developers worldwide. Today, we are empowering developers further by introducing Claude Code, our first agentic coding tool in a limited research preview. Oh, by the way, if you want to try it, their API is now at full capacity, so you actually have to line up. So I couldn't try out myself. So I will hopefully get an invitation soon, and yeah, maybe I can do another video about it, how Claude Code actually works in practice. Claude Code is an active collaborator that can search and read code, edit files, write and run tests, commit and push code to GitHub, and use command line tools, keeping you in the loop at every step. Yeah, as I said in the beginning, I think it's a very interesting model to not actually create a code editor, but just leverage the local terminal that you already have. And it seems that Claude Code really, they want to fulfill the full cycle of coding. So it's not only about creating code and edit code, but actually also about running tests, and in the end also commit and push code to GitHub repos. So the full life cycle of code generation is there, which if it's well done, could really be interesting to completely automate whole development cycles, and thus speed up software development radically. Claude Code is an early product, but has already become indispensable for our team, especially for test-driven development, debugging complex issues, and large-scale refactoring. In early testing, Claude Code completes tasks in a single pass that would normally take 45 minutes of manual work, reducing development time and overhead. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So instead of really put a human into the task, let just the agent do that, and then generate a branch, and then a human will then review the whole work, see if all the tests went through, check the code quality, and then probably merge with a upstream branch. In the coming weeks, we plan to continually improve it based on our usage, enhancing tool call reliability, adding support for long-running commands, improved in-app rendering, and expanding Claude's own understanding of its capabilities. So it seems that everything is still early on, and even Antropic itself haven't figured out how to use and actually improve the quality of it itself. So exciting times ahead. I think especially about long-running tasks, at least in my AI workflow when coding, I'm not yet have an agent running for many hours to do large-scale tasks. It's more like back and forth using AI as a assistant while I'm actually in the driving seat from coding. And it seems that this product could change that in an interesting manner. We'll see how that works. Our goal with Claude Code is to better understand how developers use Claude for coding to inform further model improvements. By joining this preview, you'll get an access to the same powerful tools we use to build and improve Claude. So you can join the preview. I try to do that, but as I said before, you have to align APIs already at full power. Working with Claude on your code base, we also improved the coding experience on Claude AI. Our GitHub repo integration is now available on all Claude plans, enabling developers to connect their code repositories directly to Claude. Claude 3.7 is our best coding model to date. With deeper understanding of your personal work and open source project, it becomes a more powerful partner for fixing bugs, developing features, and building documentation across your most important GitHub projects. Yeah, it's also interesting that they really see the need for a close integration with GitHub. Lots of companies use GitHub. Almost all the open source projects are on GitHub. So why not just make a first-class integration on all products? So Antropic did that. Now also on its chat UI. I think it is also a clever decision. I haven't seen that with OpenAI, for example. But yeah, Claude really focusing on developers. So really cool stuff. Building responsibility. We've conducted extensive testing and evaluations on Claude 3.7 Sonnet, working with internal experts, etc., etc. So they're talking about the system card, about its safety features. I think Antropic is one of the companies that is doing a really good job here. So it's less about pushing out as quickly as possible, but really do a proper research and safety safety research also with the latest cards, and they also seem to do that here. Looking ahead, Claude 3.7 and Claude Code mark an important step towards AI systems that can truly augment human capabilities. With their ability to reason deeply, work autonomously, and collaborate effectively, they bring us closer to a future where AI enriches and expands what humans can achieve. So they have this nice graph: Claude Assets, Claude Collaborates, and Claude Pioneers. So yeah, they try to get Claude Collaborates in 2025 done. Claude does hours of independent work for you, on par with experts, expanding what every person or team is capable of. Interesting. Claude Pioneers. Claude finds breakthrough solutions to challenge problems that would have taken teams years to achieve. Okay, I don't really understand what they mean by that, but yeah, it's just a vision statement as I understand here. So definitely interesting what they will come up. Yeah, so that was the whole announcement about Claude 3.7. It's live out there, even on the free plan. Claude Code, as I said, you still have to line up. I'm excited, so I tried maybe for roughly an hour on some code. The results were better than before on the 3.5. I will further test it, but until then, you may consider subscribing this channel. If you're a web professional, whether you're a web developer or digital strategist, consider subscribing. And until then, see you in the next one.